In this segment of the show, we're going to talk about a little. For people who may not be aware of this, it's been going on lately. I know a lot of people are not Tupac Shakur fans, and there's a lot of people that are. So I'm not necessarily, it doesn't matter. I'm not a fan one way or the other. But I noticed a few weeks ago that I guess Snoop Dogg and Drake, I think he was on tour, and they unveiled this hologram of Tupac Shakur performing. I think it was something that was digitally done again. I don't think it was a performance of his last a performance from a while back. I think it was something that was digitally done and created a hologram out of it. I believe, but I'm not an expert on it. But the reason why I brought that up is because people that saw the hologram, saw the show when the lights went down or whatever, thought it was kind of eerie because Tupac has been dead for quite a while now, and to see him in a hologram, and holograms look so so real these days a lot of times. And I know the first time I actually saw a type of hologram, type of performance thing was when on American Idol when I think Natalie Cole sung a song, a duo with her. Nat King Cole's her father, of course, passed away a long time ago, and they showed this little thing. It was interesting to see it happen, but I brought that up because I thought it was interesting to hear that the Tito Jackson, Jermaine Jackson, I guess, and Jackie Jackson, I don't know, maybe it was the fourth one, I can't remember. They plan on going on tour. These guys are, up in age these days. They're talking about going on tour. I mean, after all, the Jackson 5, come on, really? I mean, Michael Jackson, was the king. And I'm bringing it up because they're thinking about taking it, from what the article said, taking their brother on tour, taking Michael Jackson on tour, doing a hologram of him, and having this thing going on. I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm just bashing the rest of them, but they've been off the circuit for quite a long time. These guys are up in age. They have to be, at least Michael was younger than them, and Michael died at 50. They have to be 50 plus. And if he died at 50, and he was a little kid when some of his brother was teenagers, so you have to say these guys got to be pushing 60. Some of them are close to it. I'm not knocking 60 as being so old, but it is if you're talking about going out there on tour. Now some people, the Rolling Stones are on tour. Not that the Rolling Stones are on tour now, but the Rolling Stones have been on tour, and the Beach Boys have been on tour, and different groups have been out there, and they are older people now. They're a group that's, they don't have a hologram as their lead singer, okay? They don't have a hologram as the lead performer. So that's a little different. I think it's exploitation for as I'm concerned, but exploiting. I mean, hey. So I'm sure people go to see it because it's Michael Jackson, and some people want to see him, even though it's a hologram. I personally think it's a little morbid to me, but it's each his own. I kind of figured once I saw the Tupac thing, I said to friends of mine that this is going to start a whole slew of people, and pretty soon we have a bunch of deceased people in concert. Can you imagine one day having Biggie Smalls and Tupac and Aaliyah and what the girl Left Eye from whatever the name of the group was today, and all these people, and Michael Jackson's and Elvis Presley and Rick James and and the list goes on and on and on of performers that have already passed away. Whitney Houston, and I'm saying this is I'm not saying this is happening. But can you imagine all of a sudden people going to concerts to see people that's not even alive anymore? That it takes the place, this may sound a little crazy, but it takes the place of human beings, and now you got holograms of people performing and no human beings on stage, because you can bring back people out there that died, not bring them back literally, but if you start doing holograms of people can see them again. They don't take breaks, they don't not show up for the concert, they don't ask for money directly or whatever. I'm not trying to be funny when I say this because I think it's a little silliness in a way, but the Jacksons have the right to do what they want to do apparently, but I still think it's kind of silliness to go out there. But I think it'll be money driven because they're hoping to make money. They say on June 18th that they're going to start this tour I think in Louisville, Kentucky, and they're going to 27 cities. And I'm thinking, well, what songs do they have? I mean, they're going to sing the old Jackson 5 songs? We don't have any music out here. I mean, it's been how many years since the Jackson 5 broke up? What, 4 decades perhaps? A long time. I mean, it's been quite a long time. At least, it has to be at least 30 years. I mean, so what are these guys gonna do? These guys are grandparents, and they probably, I'm sure they got grown kids. They probably got kids, probably great grandparents. I mean, but I guess at the end of the day, it's always gonna be about the money, people. People gonna always go after the money. I find it to be sad, somewhat disturbing, but as they did it with the Tupac thing, now the Michael Jackson thing will be done. Who's next? Pretty soon a whole concert, nothing but hologram, all over the place. We start bringing back Frank Sinatra. We start bringing back, then we just go and focus. We start bringing back actors and actresses. We start bringing back everybody. Marilyn Monroe will be coming back. Well, nobody said that. I'm making this up as I go. You know, we start bringing back late presidents. You know, can you see a hologram of Ronald Reagan? I mean, where does it end? It's a whole new industry popping up. Because if this Michael Jackson thing takes off in June. June's only 2 months from now. Well, I mean, sorry, 1 month from now. If this thing takes off and it's a hit, believe me, the floodgates are going to open up. And there will be holograms everywhere of everybody. Hell, they may be holograms of people that are still alive. Can you imagine someone perform with their own selves? It's just craziness. But you know, things are going to be like that because at the end of the day, it's always going to come back to the money. It's all about the money. Anybody thinks anything different is not seeing things in the right way and they looking through life through rose-colored glasses. Of course, we know it's cliche. That scenario, if you believe that you can do things and don't be motivated by the money. This is always about the money. I've said that for years. People always say to me, why do you say that all the time? Because you look around you. You look around you and you think about the things that are going on in these United States. It's all driven by the money. Sometimes you could see it directly, and sometimes it's not so clear. But if you know it like I know it, even if you can't see it, it's always there. What do you think would prompt the Jacksons to go on tour at their age now? No, they're not the oldest band and they're going on tour. So I don't know about it write me saying, excuse me, why can't they go on tour? Other people do. Well, one of the reasons is because they can go on tour. I'm not saying they cannot. I don't have no power over them. But going on tour at this age and going on tour to sing some songs that I heard when I was in the 3rd grade and trying to dance these songs, and the whole motivation is 27-city tour, and it's going to be all about Michael Jackson. People are going to come out to see that. That's what it's about. And that's their brother. They have a right to do whatever they want to do with their brother. He's not related to me, but I guess we all need money. And because if they had wanted to go out and tour and do things, they had many opportunities to do that over the last 30 years. But who's watching? Nobody would have gone out to see them by themselves. They needed Michael then. They needed Michael at all times. Even when they were doing a victory tour, they needed Michael. Because without Michael, they would have had no victory tour. Because no one wanted to see the remaining Jackson 5. They were not popular after Michael left the group. Matter of fact, they fizzed out basically. They couldn't sustain it without Michael. He was the foundation of that group. Jermaine did a song here or there, did a little something. But most of those people didn't have a chance in the world. Other than Janet, which was a performer already, and she did her own thing, and she had the skills. But she was the only other one that actually had those skills. So, I mean, I would not pay any money to go see Michael Jackson in a hologram. I'm not going to do it. But obviously, we'll see what happens in June. June's not that far away. We'll see what kind of ticket sales are going to be going on. And who's going to go to see this? I can't even young people going to have to see Tito and Jackie and Jermaine or whoever else is going out there and try to perform. But with time to tell. So, let's see what happens in June. That's the name of the game. I'll move on to a little bit of sports here. You know, we're in the midst of the NBA first round right now. Everybody knows what's going on, of course. You know, we know Ron Artest is out for 6 games due to a little bit of conflicts he has there with throwing elbows at people. I don't know if I spoke of that a couple of weeks ago on the show. We know that the defending Dallas Mavericks, by the time this show airs, will be out of it because I think they have another game on this Sunday, and they're already down 3-0. I don't see them coming back. I see them being defeated. And the NBA pretty soon will be naming their MVP of the season. Some people think it's LeBron James, and some people don't. If it is LeBron James, it'll be his 3rd one since he's been in the league. I mean, if he gets the MVP, he'll have 3 MVP titles. and he'll been and went to 2 NBA finals, but he didn't win it. They got swept against the San Antonio Spurs several years ago, and then clearly they lost to the Dallas Mavericks last year. So he still would be haunted by the fact that he hadn't won an NBA title. That's important if he doesn't get one. We'll find out what happened. We know that Junior Seau committed suicide. That's what they say he did a few days ago, which was a sad thing. I don't know the man personally, but I saw his mother on television, and I felt pain for her. The way I heard her talk about her son and how she broke down, and it was sad to see that. And I often wonder sometimes when these people commit suicide, and I know they're not in their right mind, so to speak, because you don't go around killing yourself. So I don't think they think about how much pain they're going to cause the people they left behind. Especially when you leave behind your children. They got to cope with the fact that the parent committed suicide. And in his case, his mother, I don't know if his father's alive or not. Clearly his mother is. I think he has some siblings, I believe. It's sad. It's sad to know that he thought that that's the only way he could deal with whatever it was that was bothering him. It's sad to know that he didn't think he could go. And he had a restaurant there. So he played in the league for years, and you would think that he would have been able to take some of the money he earned and went and seek some counseling, and seeking he had resolve whatever things that was going on in his head to maybe be able to work through this. He was only 43 years old, and hearing somebody decide to take their own life, especially somebody that appeared to be healthy and lived a good life, to decide that they want to check out early at the hands of themselves. When most of us try to go to doctors and stuff so we could stay alive, you got people deciding that they want to exit this earth. Clearly for whatever reason he thought it was necessary. But I often wonder, do they stop and think? Or do they have the capability to even think about the pain they're going to cause when they do something like that? And I think he's the second NFL player this year that committed suicide by a gunshot wound to the chest. Or the other player, I forget his name. I got his name now, but he actually left a suicide letter, wanting them to study his brain, because apparently whatever was wrong with him, whether it was from concussions that people might talk about took place during the years he played, I don't really know what was wrong with him. I just know that it's a sad thing to hear that people are at a point in their life where they'd rather die than live, especially when they're healthy. And not in the financial binds that some other people are in, and that they're living a decent life, and for them to take their own lives, it's a sad way. It's sad. Even if they wasn't in financial good shape, it's still sad to know that somebody feel like the only way they're going to be better off is not to be on this earth. I don't understand that. But I wouldn't, because I don't foresee me taking myself out like that. Now, you never know what might happen in your lifetime. That I don't foresee myself. I love life, and every day that I'm here on this earth, I'm happy about it, because hey, who knows when your minutes run out. So again, as the show starts to come to an end today, once again I recap that you can email me at liveroosevelt@gmail.com. You can go out on YouTube and send either messages out there, or check out the shows, youtube.com/RooseveltLive. You can check us out every Wednesday at 6:30 to 7:30. It plays back again on Friday at the same time, 6:30 to 7:30. Bright Out Channel 949, 950. Let me see, what is that? Verizon Channel 3036, and Comcast Channel 20. And just remember that last week at the end of the show, we showed some missing children. We're going to try to bring that to you almost every week, if not bi-weekly. A list of kids that are missing in this United States that we hope that we can find. If we can find just one, we'll be happy about that. But just remember, for every day we live on this earth, we have one less day to live. So we need to make the best out of every day we're here. And that's every day. If I wake up in the morning, people say, how you feeling? And I say, I'm feeling good. I say, you never have a bad day? I say, well, if I'm allowed to wake up, 90% of my day is good. Some people that laid down didn't get up. I'm Roosevelt, and I'm your host of Roosevelt Live. I'll see you back at the same time next week.